How's that? Look at this section on the inside here. Look at it sucking out right there. How's that? That's filthy. Look at the lining across that. We're on that, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm out there. G'day and welcome to the Paddle Out. I'm joined again by my co-host Shane Horan. And our very special guest this episode is none other than Matt Wilkinson. I'm Ray Bishop from Surfing Life magazine. Wilko, thanks for joining us.
No, excited to be here. This is my first border cross since the COVID deal, so It's a big day for me.
All the way from Byron Bay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you're sort of a bit out of Byron, aren't you?
Yeah, just like 10 minutes inland.
Yeah, there you go.
So I get to look over it and make sure everyone's doing the right thing down in town.
And how's things up in... It's Bangalow, isn't it?
Yeah, Possum Creek.
Possum Creek, right,
yeah.
And
yeah,
what do you
it's been good.
What do you got going up there?
I've got a restaurant and then a Airbnb, and I'm about to start doing some surf camps in there, so got a bit on my plate, but it's exciting.
For you, like, how did surfing start?
It started when I moved from Western Sydney out to Copacabana, out to the beach, and all my brothers and sisters used to race motorbikes, and when my parents split up, my dad was like, what's a cheaper sport than motorbikes? And he was like, surfing. So we moved to the coast, and yeah, I got like a little, it was a thruster, but it had a missing fin, and it had a naked chick, well, half naked with a leaf over her. And yeah, I got that, I think, for my 7th or 8th birthday. And Dad started pushing me in, and then, yeah, never really looked back.
Which fin was missing?
One of the side ones. I don't remember if it was the insert, like, toe side or not, but...
Yeah, I'm like
I was going straight anyway, so it didn't matter.
I was going to like, if it's heel side, I can understand your backhand then.
Yeah, might have been. It might be the whole reason. We don't even know.
Did your dad surf?
He used to back in the 70s, and then he went out and started wrangling pigs and riding motorbikes and doing not beachy things.
Moved away from it.
Yeah, and
so
then...
he became like a chasing pigs, pig hunting type of thing.
Yeah, he's a truck driver by trade, and yeah, just, I don't know, did all the things that people out west do.
He helped you a lot with your contests in the start, didn't he? Taking you around to different places?
Yeah.
Newcastle and...
He had a little removals business, and he'd work a few days, make enough money to go up and down the coast for a few days, and we'd go surf whatever points. I think that's probably the main reason my backhand's got a bit going on, is because the East Coast has so many awesome right points, and that's where we kind of went. Every chance that we got, we were up or down the coast and surfing those points. And yeah, I think from Dad taking my brother to motorbike meetings when they were younger, he just didn't care about kind of loved driving and loved going away. So yeah, that was the whole thing.
Helping the kids out.
Yeah.
So you grew up on the Central Coast?
Yep.
We're at
Copacabana, yep.
How's that for a wave?
It's so
you like
good.
that? The point break there?
Such a fun wave. I miss it now, living up the coast. There's not many left tubes up here, so it's so fun to go home and surf back peak and drop in, get barreled, and get pinched at the end. But
yeah. There's a lot of waves down there, isn't there? Like compared to like the Gold Coast, like you're growing up in Copa and you're thinking, oh wow, you see Kira and you see Burley and Snapper and you think, wow, it's so good up there. But it's seasonal here, isn't it? It's like compared to Central Coast, you would have grown up with a lot of waves. Were you in the Avoca Board Riders?
I was in Avoca Board Riders. Still get the call up every now and then. I don't know which part of your life the board riders guys let you go. I don't think that ever happens. But
Avoca Board Rider for life.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, not until you start flying a flag for one of the other clubs, like you go down to Byron or whatever.
He's flown the flag for Bondi.
Oh yeah, I surfed one heat.
I've never trying to claim.
We don't forget.
I've never lived that one down.
Yeah.
That's right. Mainly from the Bondi boys.
Yeah, we were stoked.
Yeah, Avoca wasn't even in that event, and the Bondi boys asked me, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then my phone was just going,
what are you doing?
Oh, better not do that again.
The board riders is good. And what about in the board riders? Did you have, was Wade in it at your time? Are you the same age as Wade, or is Wade younger? Or?
I'm one or 2 years, maybe 2 years older than Wade. He was always in board riders, and he always had so much potential. It was almost hard to watch him go onto the QS without sponsors, and he in events when the waves are good, he's just so fast and powerful, and that's pretty rare on the QS. So it was like there was a given that if he made the tour, he was going to be a force, and
because that's where all the good waves are.
yeah, and on the QS, it's just like you see so many big, powerful guys kind of go to the QS and disappear. So it was it was awesome to see Wade get kind of that one win in Hawaii that brought his career back to life, and then to qualify, and now everyone loves him, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, he's on.
Enough about Wade. We love Wade, but Wilko, are you looking to ever come back? Or is this a change of life experience we're hearing? Where are you at with surfing and your career as a surfer or a pro surfer?
Well, I don't think I don't not want to be a pro surfer.
Sure.
But I don't know how much I want to commit to saying, all right, I'm going to compete in every QS, try and make it to the tour. I'd almost rather do the Aussie leg, have fun. If I'm winning, keep going. If not, go and try and get barreled for the rest of the year.
So you're still surfing a lot?
Yeah, still surfing heaps. I love it. This winter's been unbelievable. It's been the most tubes I think I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, it's been consistent.
Everyone watches the tour and is like, oh, you get to surf perfect waves every day. Like, nah, we mostly fly and sit in airports and surf onshore, and then the one day of the comp every month is like, all right.
Yeah.
We get 30 minutes that day. But, we definitely do get some good waves. But, I think this winter's been the most I've ever surfed. It's been like everyone's been surfing the right points, and I've been sneaking off, getting left barrels on the beaches, which is fun.
Yeah, the points get busy, but the beaches, with this kind of swell, there's tons of... Well, it's so spread out, though.
Yeah, that's what... I think everyone thinks of Byron as like the pass, and is like, that's the most crowded place in the world. Like, sure, think about it like that.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
like so many good beaches, as long as we get so much westerly wind and picks up all the swell, so it's good fun.
Yeah, I used to like a few of the break walls down there get pretty good.
Yeah.
Get that wedge off off one of them, gets pretty good.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's good. And what about, so onto the tour, like you, how did you come to hook up with Rip Curl? How did that all come about?
My dad sent a videotape when I was 9 or 10, and Gary Dunn got it and gave us a call, and I think I got like a sticker pack and $300 worth of clothes, and then
you were sponsored.
That was it. I was sponsored, and I
Were
was
you
never going back.
frothing on that?
Absolutely, I was the coolest kid in school. I think I had like fluoro board shorts down to my ankles.
Oh
and
yeah.
a fluoro button-down shirt, and I was walking around Copa like I was 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
But that was fun. I ended up with a board with 50 stickers on it by the time I was like 12 years old, and
More sponsors than Medina.
yeah, pretty close. Maybe not. But that was fun. I think that was what I guess gave me the direction I wanted to head in my life, and it made me realize that surfing could be a job, and I think Dad saw that and kind of kept nudging me on my way there, and so it was good fun to. I guess I never knew anything but surfing. I was 10 years old, and then I'd been with Rip Curl for 21 years when I was 31, when at the end of last year when our partnership ended, but it was pretty weird to have like 2/3 of my life had been with Rip Curl.
That's pretty crazy, huh?
Weird.
Yeah.
And they've gone through some major changes. You know, they've sold the company.
Yeah.
So, and with those, you've been part of that change of, they got rid of some of the old and bringing in the new.
Yeah, for sure. I was definitely, it fell at a weird time. They were selling, and my contract was up, and I have no hard feelings or anything. I had an awesome life with them, and made a lot of awesome friends, and it's funny to think that there's like almost none of my life that I remember was without them. So
Yeah, because from sort of age 10 is when you start really having your proper memories, not vague ones.
Yeah,
Whole
I
life
can remember like a birthday cake when I was 8 or something, but that's
You're doing better than me.
So where'd you go from there? Like, did you have, what happened in your amateurs? Did you state titles, Australian titles?
Yeah, I won some state titles, won some Aussie titles, won a
Wow,
world
that's good.
title.
In the amateur?
Yeah, in Tahiti in the
The
under 16s.
world titles?
Yep,
Wow, that would have
which
been
was
good.
cool.
Was it
yeah.
a Chopu?
No, it was a Papanu,
Okay.
beachy on the other side, or like a rock kind of trestlesy wave.
Okay.
How is Tahiti? Does it have, like, all we see is Chopu, right? Is
yeah.
there? I know that it's got different atolls, different islands.
Yeah.
Like, how is? What do you do when the contest? If the contest isn't on, do you just sort of break out and go to other places? Are there good sort of fun places to go to?
There's fun waves around Chopes, but Chopes is really consistent. It's like the only thing that can kind of ruin it is wind. When it's small, it's like you're still getting barreled when it's 1 foot at Chopes. So the comp might not be on, but there's still a lot of fun waves around Chopes, and then Chopes is also really fun. And you don't.
Chopes
don't
is
do-
sorry to.
No worries.
Chopes is really fun.
Yeah, when
I'm
it's small.
sorry. I don't look at Chopes when it's small.
Well-
Okay.
Once it's big, it gets a bit different. But
Do you dirty your dacks when it's getting into that zone?
yeah, absolutely. I think everyone does. If they say they don't, they're full of
Dirtying.
No, but it's from like I was saying, 1 foot all the way to 15 foot, and then the other guys can have it past there with the jet
It is
skis.
dangerous though, isn't it? It's like my first trip that I was going to go over to it. I broke my ankle the week before it.
Yes.
No, I wanted to go.
Yeah.
If you've seen some of his clips, you know he's ready.
We were going over to do a tow session,
Yeah.
and anyway, I saw Garrett after it, and he told me about this guy had a really bad wipeout there,
Yeah.
and he went in to save him, and he was holding his head in his hands, and his brains were coming out of his head. It was pretty gnarly. It's pretty heavy consequences, you know.
Yeah,
the
for
tour
sure.
has been so lucky, haven't they? Really, like when I know that, right,
Yeah.
and then I see you guys surfing there, and it's just like Russian roulette.
Yeah, it's definitely surprising how lucky the tour's been with injuries and deaths. But the big wave tour too. Those guys are pushing it so hard. So I don't want to say it's a matter of time, and hopefully it isn't. But it's definitely, there's some pretty scary days on tour. But it's also, if you're gonna push the limits, it's the best time to do it. There's rescue skis, there's doctors, there's kind of everyone's sitting there watching. So if you do go down and come up not breathing, they'll pick you up and revive you, hopefully.
And so that's
what
your
goes through
safety
your head.
mechanism.
Yeah.
That's what's
safe.
going through your head.
I'll be right. I'm going for it.
I wore, on the big days at Chopes, I had like the little paddle vest and then a spring suit, and it's like way too hot for a spring suit, but I was like, any padding I can have.
Yeah,
And
safe.
then the rashy. But you get super flogged out there. Come up and the jet ski's there and you get thrown on the back, and you're like, usually in a free surf you'd be like, go sit in the channel and get yourself together for half an hour.
But you're back out there.
But you've got like 40 seconds on the back of the ski and you're back in the lineup and you're like, oh no, there's another set coming. But
Who wants to be a pro surfer? I don't know. Like, I want to chase pro surfing still.
Well, you grow to it, don't you? Like you know, like you said, you left at Copa with the pinching barrel.
Yeah.
You know, it
Teaches
set
you
you
a
up
little
for
bit,
all
for
that,
sure.
didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, but at Chopu, you got an open end.
Yeah.
You know, so
absolutely.
actually you're doing it easier there sometimes than you are at your home break where it's
Yeah.
pinching on you.
Yeah. I think the one weird bit is that, like, the 2011 year at Chopes, I'd been there twice before and it had got to 4 foot, and then that day was like 12 foot kind of borderline tow. I was like, I've never even actually seen a wave that looks like this before. Like, there's nowhere else
no
in the world
practice.
that does it.
Yeah.
I was just like standing on the boat and I was like, other people can do it, so I can probably do it, but I've never done it, so I just got to try.
Yeah, that's a
Pretty-
and they're in that
pretty
same.
weird feeling.
They're in that same boat of. You know,
only
like
Michelle,
you would.
Michelle and
Yeah,
Kelly
like
have
there's.
done it.
That's right. 2 of them, and all the rest
Yeah.
of you are doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
What sort of board you ride on a day like that?
So this is actually a fun story. Before that trip, I was with Dom Wills in Bondi, and he'd surfed it big, obviously. And I was like, "So what do I need?" And he's like, "No matter how big it gets, you want to be able to like swing like under it, and just so like 6'4" is all you need." And I took a 6'4" over there, and then it was macking, and everyone Ace and Bede and everyone I was with were on like 6'9s and 6'10s, and so I ended up getting one of I had one of Jay Davies's boards that he'd left at the house that I stay at. It was like a big fat 6'9". Then I broke that, and then Bottle had left a board there as well, and that was a 6'7", and I ended up making a few heats on that one, which was nice. But yeah,
Borrowed boards.
I definitely wasn't prepared.
Took
for
all
that event.
took all the boards in the world over and used borrowed boards.
I think I took 12 boards and didn't ride them.
So at that point there, like, because I know how important sponsorship is. We talked earlier about Rip Curl. Do you have like stickers in your bag just in case you have to do that? Do you have to sticker your boards up? Is that the mode that you go with just in case?
Yeah, I think you always just have stickers and grips in your bag. Just
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the part of being a professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have 30 or 60 kilos of stuff that you lug around, and
And 10 kilos that you need.
That's the not fun part of surf. Surf
right.
contests.
And you had a manager would come around like
Fletchy.
Fletchy. He'd help you out with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
How was he? Like, what's his role for helping you out? Like, he helps out all the Rip Curl crew.
Yeah.
What's he do?
He is pretty much just like a net to fall back on. Obviously his job's not to babysit everyone, but if he can help with something and that might make our chances of winning better, then I guess that's his job, just to be there.
Broken board, go and get the dings fixed, stuff like that, or you take care of your own fix-ups?
Kinda. I travelled with, at the end I travelled with Micro, and I was like personally paying him, so it was kind of more his job to do that kind of thing. But originally, they want you to be pretty self-sufficient, I think. It's like, just if, say you break 2 boards in the morning and you can't go back to the house because you've got a heat coming up, then it's kind of Fletcher's job to go pick up your boards. Or
That's good.
It's when you're in a bind.
nice to have someone there.
Yeah.
So it's more when you're in a bind, they can quickly help out. But everything else, well, you're a professional. They pay you to be a professional, don't they?
Yeah, and so we try and be as prepared as you possibly can. But then obviously it's not, you can't take 8 boards to the beach every day.
No.
And then, I guess he works for the company, so it's like he has a hat there for the post-heat interviews, or if you come down and you've got a Billabong shirt on, then he shoots you and swaps your shirt up.
You're taken into the back room, beaten with a telephone book so there's no bruises.
Yeah.
I was watching you at Manly, right? And just something had changed. I could see, like, you're the topic of a lot of conversations right through your career, because you would go for rodeo clowns and you backflips and big aerials, and you'd need like a 3 in a heat and you'd go for a 25.
Yeah.
Right? And you had no sort of, when I watched it,
Which made him one of the
best to watch.
viewers' favourite, by the way.
A total free radical of the tour. Like, everybody else is conforming, but Wilko's not conforming, and which was a joy to watch, because you didn't know what you get. You go out into a heat and you do the highest level of surfing that's on the planet, and then you've gone into this mode where I'm watching you at Manly, and it's like you've pulled yourself back like 3 levels. There wasn't one aerial. It was all top to bottom, pure surfing, classical surfing. How did that all come about? And can you run into the win at Manly, and then also when you went on your best role of your life in that period? You changed, and you for your competition, which is a part of your life that you wanted, you went on. You won Manly.
Newey.
You won Newey. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one
But
says Manly anymore.
but Manly was where I think I saw you stay. You were in the Manly contest,
Yeah.
right? Manly's where I saw the change,
Yeah.
right? It was Manly after Newcastle?
Nah, before Newey.
Yeah, so I saw the change there. Then you went on and won at Newcastle.
Yeah.
Then you went on and won at Snapper. Then you went and won at Bells. You were on a roll. Then you'd come from being this kid, the free radical kid on the tour, to getting his game together to becoming a actual threat at the title. So how did that all come about?
I think it was kind of a mix between realizing that I wanted to kind of get all my ducks in a row and really kind of see what I could do. And before that, I was having fun. I would get a third and then a last and then a fifth and then a last and whatever. And I was enjoying myself and I was enjoying my surfing, but I was also kind of, it was wearing thin. I was starting to get frustrated. I'd go into an event that I felt like I could do good in and not do good because of stupid little mistakes. And then, yeah, so I travelled with Micro that year before while he was on tour. And I think he was watching and his surfing was, he had all the other parts completely down pat. And then he didn't see himself as the most talented surfer. But he was like, I'll be on the best wave. I won't fall off. I can do this and that. And he's like, I think he was frustrated watching me make stupid decisions.
With all the talent in the world.
Yeah, and so at the end of the year before, 2015, I think it was, we started talking and he was like, I'd like to help you. And I think that was the first time in my career that I was like, yeah, I want help. And so, yeah, in the off season, we worked pretty hard on fitness, boards, kind of consistency, and then any turns that were kind of lacking or not lacking, kind of when I was choosing a turn because it felt good, when there was another turn that I could score more points on.
Yeah, righto.
He was like, what about you try this? And then it worked. Manly was tiny that year and I felt great in that event. And then went up to Newcastle and that was kind of the first time I'd ever really felt like I was going into an event and I knew I had great boards, knew I felt good, and then the waves were good, and I think I just got more and more confident as that event went on, and then yeah, got the win there, which felt pretty good, and I think you see it a lot with confidence. People surfing change. Like you see even Italo putting clips out now. He's a different man than he was before he'd won the title. So I think that win kind of did that for me, and I went into snapper, and I'd always known that my backhand was pretty lethal. So I think me pulling back on a lot of turns and making sure I connected on my biggest turns and didn't blow it by trying something silly on a shitty little section. I think that was a big thing for me. It was like
completion.
Yeah. And
it's pretty to watch when a wave's put together like that as well. So it's not like you weren't doing beautiful surfing, although you're dialing certain things back.
Yeah.
You may have been doing better surfing, which gives you the better points.
Yeah, so I think before that I'd go into a foam climb and be like, oh, what if I tried to blow the tail out and do a reverse here? And I'd like maybe stick it and be stuck behind and be like, that was pretty crazy. I didn't think I could actually do that. But then the wave would run off and there was 6 points left in it.
Yeah.
And I'd turned it into a 4 by doing one weird, crazy turn. So I think by pulling it back, it kind of accentuated the good parts
in my
surfing, and also having everything prepared it just quietens your mind, I think, which is really important in surfing because there's so many times that you have to make a decision, whether it's catch this wave, paddle to that side of this guy, there's so many decisions to make. Yeah. And
that's what had changed. You'd learned to start to play the game And I could see that because the people go, they look at competition and they don't see the game.
Yeah.
And the game to me, when I watch pro surfing, I love it.
Yeah.
Because the strategy, I like, it's what you guys are doing between waves is what and people go, it's so boring. They're just sitting there. But when you know the moves and you know the guy's getting position on him or he's moving him in the lineup to move him over into a worse position or, you know, and I see this and you see guys falling into your web. You're creating this web and you're drawing them too far inside. And like you were starting to play the game and you were starting to move people in the lineup and you were starting to hold people down. You were getting into a winning position and you'd grafted so well to get that lead, you held onto it. Where in the past, you'd get that lead and you'd take off on a wave and go for a rodeo clown. You know, go for this massive move, open the door for the guy, and then he'd get the wave of the heat and take it away from you. Yeah. And you never let that happen in that period. And how was it when you put it all together? You won your first CT at Snapper Rocks. Like you put everything, all your hard work came together.
Yeah, it was almost surreal because it was so quick. We'd had one off season that we worked on all this stuff, and then the first 2 events I'd won. I was like, whoa! All you have to do is this. This is easy. I'll win every event. But it was it was a pretty crazy feeling, and to do it on the Gold Coast, 40 minutes from home. So I had hundreds of friends and family and stuff on the beach, and we were just like getting cheered up the beach, just like, yes, I know you, yes. And it was just, it felt like it had been
a lifetime.
Yeah, waiting for that. And I was so close at the Santa Cruz event, kind of early in my career, and Taj just got me, and then I didn't have a final after that, so it was.
Did he just get you?
I don't know.
I'm looking back at my scoreboard, and I'm, no offense, Taj.
Yeah.
And then on to Bells.
Yeah, which was
Bells great. For an Aussie is our iconic contest. Like every Australian surfer who's a competitor wants to win Bells.
Yeah,
I reckon it goes further than Australia, by the way.
I know that, but
you're right.
Wilko's an Aussie.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you, as a kid, did you want to win Bells?
Yeah, absolutely. The first year I ever went to Bells, I'd been surfing down there, but for the CT was when Mick won as a wild card.
Oh yeah.
And I was like 10 years old in the stands, just going, "Wow, I love this." And I'd been down there every year since then, and then so to get the win down there was so huge, and I think that event was big for me too, because I'd come off Snapper and I felt so good. Then the first few heats, I was like, there was something a little bit off in my surfing. I felt okay, but was a little bit slow, and then I had a heat with Julian, and I needed a 9.5, and I got one towards the end and got like a 9.9 or something. And that wave, I like pushed every turn like as hard as I possibly could, and I finished that, and my whole body was like tingling, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna win this event. And I just like, it was like I don't know, something happened inside me, and from that wave on in that event, I was just like pushing a lot harder. Everything felt kind of easy, and I was just having so much fun.
It was one of the best wins in my history, remembering event wins. I just loved it. But being a goofy footer, I'm more partial to the goofies winning, but a goofy at Bells.
You loving goofies.
Goofy loves a goofy.
Goofy loves a goofy.
And then but the magic carpet in that.
Yeah, that red board just kind of, I don't know, started the whole ball rolling, and all the highlights of my career are all on that one board. It was magic.
So you brought something special? You got some magic?
I got a little bit of magic here.
Wow.
Here she is.
The magic
carpet.
Is this the one you did all the damage on?
It is. It's been sitting above my fireplace ever since, melting, but this is all the winning wax on there too.
It's got all your feet marks in there.
Yeah.
All the winning grooves.
Yeah, I actually creased this in Newcastle on this side, just like a tiny little crease. Got it fixed, and it never actually
Didn't
felt like
affect it?
breaking again. Yeah.
How did this board come about? Like, how did you end up with that?
So I worked in the off season pretty hard with DH. It was off one of Mick's models, but
the Duck's nuts. He loved that one, didn't he?
yeah, we kind of made the front a bit thicker and kept the rocker pretty Gold Coasty rocker. And yeah, I was playing with the tails, bringing them wider and tighter, and yeah, I ended up just before Newcastle started. I'd found one that I really liked, and I got four exactly the same, and then it was between this one and one that I painted blue. The blue one was a bit faster, and this one just felt a bit more solid. And once I won Newey, then I wasn't getting off it.
Yeah.
Kept it.
That was it.
Because that's one
Isn't it amazing, though? He's kept it. Like how long ago did you win at Newcastle?
2016, 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny thing about like the Magic board. They're all shaped the same. They're all come off a machine and whatever. But the asymmetry that's involved in it that you don't know, even though that side's the same as that side, but the way they poured this foam, it was maybe heavier this side, or where it was humid or whatever, and all of those little things we have no idea about.
Yeah.
Is often what makes the Magic carpet, eh?
Yeah, and it's weird. I think you always feel like the faster a board goes, the more you like initially love it. But yeah, I think this one at that time I was looking to slow down a little bit, and it was kind of a little bit slower and just a lot more solid, and I think it was exactly kind of what my surfing needed. And yeah, it's just, I don't know.
That's something I've always... A little kiss.
There you go, bro.
I mean, that's something I've always said about a
You
good...
love it.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a good boy.
Something I've always said about a good board is not a board that makes me go fast, it makes me go radical. And I don't surf that radical, but you get what I'm saying.
Sure.
I think, to me, that's the fun, isn't it?
So that got you into position to go for the title. Like, and then all of a sudden, everyone's saying, "Oh, Wilko's got a shot at the title here," and everybody wanted you to win it because you represent a whole array of surfers that are the go for it style of surfers. They're not the conservative side, right? And here you are, you've put yourself in the box seat. And how did that feel? Like all that was happening, but then it started to slip away. Like you got together with Micro, and you just had plans, and you surfed. Took things out of your surfing that you needed to give you the points, and then all of a sudden it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Right? And that was sort of like halfway through that tour. You're in it, but you could almost, for me watching it, I could see it looked like the wheels had fallen off. Like when you got to Brazil and you had that heat with the kid and you lost like first round, I think it was. Was that right?
Yeah. So I guess I came out of that leg and I was like, oh, I hope I can keep going. And I did. I got a quarter in Margie's, and then I think Brazil was next, or was Fiji? Brazil. I think Brazil. I lost first round in Brazil. I think it was David Silver, and he did some big airs, which was kind of frustrating. But then I came...
Since that's your game.
Beat you at your own game.
And I think that was the first time that I'd ever been in that high seeding position. So I was going up against wild cards. And so I felt like I should do well, but it didn't really happen there. And then Fiji, everyone had been saying that my backhand was I don't know if they said that it was all I had, but it kind of felt like that's all anyone ever spoke about. And then
they did say it was your strongest weapon.
Yeah, and then so to get a second in Fiji that year in Pump and Waves, I beat John out there twice, which was like, whoa! I didn't expect that to happen. So that kind of got me back up and going. And then in Europe, I don't know. It's Europe's pretty hard one to be consistent, and I've never really had good results over there. I've made some quarters, but yeah, I lost to Kai Otten in France, and
Did you still have the yellow jersey in Europe?
I lost the yellow jersey. John won Chopes and took the yellow jersey there.
Yeah. So you went into Europe without it.
Yeah, I think it was in second. I think him and Gabby. I don't know.
Who took
It was 4
Someone
years
took
ago.
Yeah, John took it, and then him and Gabby just went on a huge roll at the back end,
Yeah.
which they always do.
Yeah.
And it definitely felt. I think John had won 2 events in a row. He won Brazil and then Chopes, and then so that
He was another one a lot like you that he couldn't play the game. He just would over push it, pick the wrong wave at the wrong time, open the door all the time.
Yeah, and then
And
changed.
then he started getting coached and started to play the game as well. You saw a change in him. I saw a change in him where he started to play.
Yeah, for sure.
And now he's lethal.
Yeah,
And that's what happened to you. You became lethal.
yeah,
So, like in that period, you got up there and you had the title shot. And then did you feel like did you know there was a time when actually I'm falling away here? Did you ever say to yourself I'm kind of, did you feel the pressure of the kids coming on, or did you ever go through that experience?
not so much with I think that year I was like, whoa, I'm here.
Mm.
And then that middle bit, John went on a crazy rampage, and then he won in Portugal, and I'd had a bad event in France, and then, and so that year I was kind of more just like
In the zone.
Yeah,
More
doing
of the
my
part
thing,
where
and
in your career where you're fighting to stay on the tour,
yeah,
right? And then the day comes that the day comes and you're off the tour, like you're off the main CT.
yeah,
And so then that happens, and at that point when you're going, okay, you're making a decision there.
Yeah.
What's happening at that point?
that was kind of a weird one, and it was weird that I had that year that was my kind of breakthrough year. Then the next year by J-Bay, I had the yellow jersey again, and I was like, I'm backing it up. I've still got it. It wasn't just a fluke.
Because you'd won Fiji that year. That's right. The following year, yeah?
Yeah.
Because after getting, what did you say it was a semi-final the year before?
No, second.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You went to the final, got a second, and then you come back.
Yeah.
So Fiji must have had a little bit of a special spot for you as well.
And both of those years, the waves are absolutely pumping. So it was like, that was a massive thing for me too, just to kind of prove, probably more so to myself, that my forehand was
as good as
good. So, but
growing up at Copa, mate, you got to have a forehand.
Exactly. But I think it had never really been my thing, like big left tubes. So to get to have those 2 years in big pumping waves and have the 2 big carver bowls at home now is pretty special.
That's but
and then
sorry to cut you off there, but we had you we're only talking the now. Like we took you away for the Surfing Life board test last year. We were in the Maldives, amazing time. But you were heading to Spain after that. You were still in a really good position on the QS. So
last.
Well, you went last.
No, but I was doing pretty shitty.
Well, I think, what's your current ranking? I think it's in the 200s, isn't it? Something like that.
Is there a ranking?
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, at the moment with COVID.
Yeah.
But that's the point, isn't it? We're not talking about 10 years ago. We're talking about now. And like what you said, have a look at the Australian leg, see how you're going. Because you have to go from now the QS to the Challenger Series, yeah? Yeah,
I don't even really know what that looks like. Is there a...
First few months of the year is a Challenger, and then you roll into the CT. So the guys that fall off the CT can jump into the Challenger straight away and not be off tour for a whole year. Now, that would have suited you perfectly if it was in place. So you fall off the tour, and you've got 3 months. You're not having to do a whole year. You're not off the tour for an entire year.
Yeah.
And you're still in the good ways with the top level guys
Yeah, it seems like a good idea. Have they got any of the events set out? Like, are they in Good Waves, or are they putting the challenges in Manly?
Again,
Well, I think that was the problem
there were even
with the QS.
Yeah.
It was like at the start they had the primes. There was supposed to be more points because they were in Good Waves, and then they just ended up not in Good Waves.
Just end up whoever would sponsor
it was a
them.
weird couple of years. But yeah, I think the idea of the new series sounds great.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any details to be able to fully back it.
Yeah. But in the meantime, while we're in Corona, you've got something else going on. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I've got out at the place that we rent out. I kept seeing people come in and run different kind of things in there, whether it's yoga retreats or health retreats or whatever. And I was like, what could I do?
What am I good
Give
at?
it a minute.
I bet you it took you 30 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't too long.
What can I do? Whack!
It was actually during the lockdown-y kind of thing. I was like, the waves were pumping. I was getting barreled. I was going fishing. I was playing golf. I was like, how good is life right now? Like, I don't have to do anything. I was like, how can I make money doing this? And I was like, I've already spent the money on the property. I've got a van that we have for the restaurant. I was like, I'm already paying all these bills. I was like, why don't I just bring people in? I can take them surfing, take them golfing, take them fishing.
Living the life of Wilko.
Yeah. And
Maybe a couple of cold beverages in there.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah. So
Fantastic.
And we've got the restaurant so we can have food at the house, and we want to do like a luxury all-inclusive surf guided getaway with coaching and filming. And
Are you going to take them? Are you going to
Yeah.
take them surfing?
yeah, I've always loved meeting new people and kind of entertaining. So I think it's kind of perfect for me, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, people aren't as easy as you think. There's some hard people out there, but
Yeah, but not
I'm
generally.
willing to
Surfers are
deal.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
who are looking to have a fun time, and they know your sort of vibe, and
yeah,
they're going to be, that'll link in really good.
yeah. So I think there's a big hole in the market. There's backpackers and learn to surf, and then there's like HPC style coaching, which is pretty sterile feeling. To like as far as getting on tour or becoming a professional surfer, it's great.
Perfect, yeah.
But for Joe Blow from Melbourne that just wants to go a bit faster, or be able to do a floater or something,
And hit a hole in
It's-
one.
yeah, yeah. Then I think there's a big gap in the market there. So I'm really excited to start doing it, and I think it'll be a way that I can live an awesome, fun life.
Yeah.
I can continue doing what I love, which is surfing. I can help people improve their surfing, and we can have an epic time, meet good people, and yeah.
That's fantastic.
Pretty
And how do they find out about it?
So it's weekend at Wilko's,
Yep.
but the website is wilkosworld.com.au.
Wilko's World. I love
Excellent.
that.
We got that little one just in case somebody wants to be coached how to get barreled at Fiji or chokes or something.
So it's around the world. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
I'll take you overseas, and you can take me overseas and
Let's
watch
go.
me get barreled.
Well, Wilko, thanks for coming in, man. And we have to wrap it up here.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's been unreal. I wish we had more time. Maybe we'll just do a part 2. How about that? There's so many more stories there.
If I'm ever allowed to cross the border.
That's
You're always allowed across the border.
Guys, thanks for watching, and tune in next time.